5 minutes ago, Jamie Raskin stepped up to the podium and delivered a sentence that will shake America to its foundations. "I have," he said, raising the file in the air, "proof of the Epstein cover-up. This isn't a single document, it's 2,300 pages of internal correspondence showing a systematic conspiracy. And these correspondences reveal a chain extending from the FBI to the White House." The chamber froze. Cameras zoomed in, and Cash Patel, sitting at the witness table, visibly began to tense up. Jamie Raskin doesn't bluff. Everyone knows this. Constitutional law professor. He weighs every word, documents every claim. And today, with 2,300 pages of documents in hand, he was preparing to expose the biggest cover-up in American history. You absolutely must watch this video to the end, because what Raskin reveals, names, dates, orders, changes everything. If you're new to this channel, subscribe immediately and hit the bell icon. This event is now going in very different directions, and you need to know every detail. Let me explain how we got to this point. Last night around 11 p.m., an anonymous source left a package at Jamie Raskin's office. Inside was a USB flash drive, and on that USB were 2,300 pages of emails, memos, and reports leaked from the FBI's internal communication system. Raskin's team worked tirelessly through the night. They verified the documents. They examined the metadata. They cross-checked dates, names, and events. And at 6 a.m., Raskin made a statement: "I will be making historic revelations in today's hearing." The media went crazy. Everyone was curious. What had he found? Who was he going to expose? Now we know. House Oversight Committee. 10 a.m. The chamber was packed. Every seat, every corner, every square inch was filled with people. Journalists were standing, waiting. Cameras were filming from every angle. Patel arrived as usual, but this time something was different. His eyes were red. Hadn't he slept? His movements were slower. He had 6 lawyers with him. 6. He had never come with so many lawyers before. He knew things would go badly, but he didn't know how big it was. The first hour passed as usual. Other committee members asked questions. Patel gave evasive answers. Everything seemed normal. Then came Raskin's turn. For those unfamiliar with Jamie Raskin, he's a Maryland representative, Harvard Law School graduate. He taught constitutional law at Georgetown University, lead manager for Trump's second impeachment trial, one of the sharpest minds in American politics. And today that sharp intellect was focused on Cash Patel. Raskin walked to the podium. He had a thick black file in his hand. The file had classified, declassified written on it in red letters. "Director Patel," Raskin said, placing the file on the table, "today we'll be discussing the Epstein cover-up, but this time there's no speculation. This time there's no theory. This time I have evidence." He opened the file. 2,300 pages. FBI Internal Correspondence from 2019 to 2025. And these emails show how the Epstein investigation was systematically sabotaged. Raskin pulled out the first document. This is an email dated June 14, 2019, sent from the FBI's Miami field office to Washington. Subject: Epstein high-profile targets. He showed the document to the cameras. In this email, the Miami office asks Washington, "We have 34 high-profile names, supported by witness statements, flight records, and photographic evidence. We're requesting approval to open an investigation." He paused. 34 names. 2019, 6 years ago. And do you know what the response was? He pulled out another document. Response from Washington. "Not advisable at this time." Wait, signature FBI director at the time. The chamber erupted. "Not advisable at this time," Raskin repeated. 34 names, child abuse suspects, and Washington says wait. But this was just the beginning. Raskin began pulling out documents one by one. Each new document was more scandalous than the last. Things are really getting interesting now. This is August 2019, 1 week after Epstein's suicide. FBI internal memo. The Epstein case will be closed. All subsidiary investigations will be suspended. Signature: Deputy Director. Another document. This is January 2020, 6 months before Maxwell was arrested. An FBI analyst writes to their superiors, "We have sufficient evidence on Maxwell. Why aren't we taking action?" Response: political sensitivities. We're waiting. One more. This is March 2021. After Maxwell was convicted. FBI internal report. Maxwell named 47 people. Investigation recommended. A handwritten note scribbled on it, not approved. High-level decision. Raskin looked at the chamber. High-level decision. Who made this decision? Which high-level official blocked the investigation of 47 child abusers? Now I need to stop for a second and say this. If you've watched this far, please like the video. I'm serious. This isn't just for the channel. The YouTube algorithm looks at likes, and it's essential that this video reaches more people, and write your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think these 47 names are? Where did this high-level decision come from? Raskin wasn't finished yet. The heaviest bomb hadn't dropped yet. Now, he said, pulling a document from the back of the file, I'm going to show you the most disturbing document. It was a one-page memo, FBI letterhead. Date on it, February 3, 2025. 2 weeks after Patel took office. This memo, Raskin said, was sent from the FBI Director's Office to all field offices. Subject: Epstein investigation. New directives. He began reading. Everyone in the chamber became twice as attentive when they heard the subject. Effective immediately, all active files related to the Epstein investigation will be transferred to headquarters. No field office may initiate or continue investigations without central approval. All witness interviews are suspended. All document requests will be denied. He paused. He looked at Patel, and at the very bottom, Director Patel. Your signature is there. The chamber was shocked again. People were shouting. Journalists were jumping to their feet. Cameras couldn't capture everyone. The committee chairman was banging the gavel, shouting, "Order! Order!" I looked at Patel's face. How can I put it? He was devastated. His lawyers were leaning toward him, whispering something, but Patel seemed not to hear. Raskin waited. He waited until the chamber calmed down. Then he continued, "Director Patel, do you recognize this document?" Silence. "Director," Patel's lawyer interjected. "My client needs time to review this document." Time. Raskin raised his eyebrows. "This document bears your signature, Director. How much time do you need to recognize your own signature?" Patel finally spoke. His voice was quiet, almost inaudible. "This document is taken out of context." Context? Raskin pulled other documents from the file. "Let me give you context. After this directive, after the directive you signed, the FBI's activities related to the Epstein investigation decreased by 94%, witness interviews stopped, document analyses stopped, fieldwork stopped." He put the documents on the table. "You started your job, and the Epstein investigation effectively died. Is this your context?" Patel couldn't answer. "And another interesting coincidence," Raskin said. "We know that on the day you signed this directive, February 3, 2025, there was a meeting at the White House. On the same day you attended that meeting, and 2 hours after that meeting, you signed this directive." He looked at Patel. "What was discussed at that meeting, Director?" Here's where something unexpected happened. The most senior of Patel's 6 lawyers, a gray-haired man in his 60s, stood up. "Mr. Representative, my client is exercising his Fifth Amendment rights. He will not answer this question or any subsequent questions." The chamber erupted again. Raskin shook his head, but he didn't seem surprised. He seemed to be expecting this. "Fifth Amendment," he said. "The right not to testify against oneself. The FBI director believes he would incriminate himself if he answered questions about the Epstein investigation." He turned to the chamber. "American people, are you hearing this? The FBI director, the country's top law enforcement official, cannot answer questions about a child abuse investigation because he would incriminate himself if he did." Raskin closed the file. "This is no longer doubt. This is no longer theory. This is a cover-up collapsing before our very eyes." But Jamie Raskin wasn't finished yet. He pulled out one final document. This time, it was in a different format. It looked like a table. "This," he said, "is the list of people the FBI marked as not to be investigated as part of the Epstein investigation." Official FBI document created in 2021. In 2025, during Director Patel's tenure, it was given permanently closed status. He showed the table. There are 47 names on this list, and next to these names are codes explaining why they won't be investigated. He began reading. Code A. Political sensitivity. 12 names are marked with this code. Code B. Diplomatic relations. 8 names. Code C. National security. 15 names. And Code D. He paused. Code D. Executive branch protection. 12 names. He looked at the chamber. Executive branch protection. Do you know what this means? This means the White House is protecting these names. This means the highest levels of the American government are protecting child abusers from investigation. Patel's lawyers were now in full panic mode. They were looking at each other, writing notes, whispering. But there was nothing they could do. The documents were there. The evidence was there. And in 15 minutes, Raskin had pieced together the entire cover-up scheme. What else could he have done anyway? Raskin said his final words, "Director Patel, I wanted to speak with you today, but you hid behind the Fifth Amendment. This is your right, but this is also a confession." He gathered his file. These documents will be shared with the public tomorrow. 2,300 pages. Every email, every memo, every directive. The American people will see it with their own eyes. He looked at Patel one last time, and those 47 names, those names will also come out. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will come out because the truth always comes out. And this cover-up, this massive, disgusting cover-up, cannot remain hidden forever. He moved away from the microphone. "My questions are finished, Mr. Chairman." The hearing effectively ended after that. It continued technically. Other representatives asked other questions, but no one was listening. Everyone had only one thing on their mind. Raskin's documents, 2,300 pages, 47 protected names, and a directive signed by the FBI director stopped the investigation. The news broke within minutes. Raskin 47 became the #1 trending topic worldwide. Within an hour, television networks went live. Experts spoke, and everyone asked the same question: who are those 47 names? We don't know the answer to this question yet, but here's what we do know. First, Raskin's documents are real. They match FBI metadata. The dates are consistent. The signatures have been verified. These aren't fake documents. These are the government's own records. Second, the Epstein investigation has been deliberately sabotaged since 2019. First they said, wait. Then they said not advisable, and during Patel's tenure, it was officially halted. Third, 47 people are being protected. Political sensitivity, diplomatic relations, executive branch protection. These people are being protected by someone at the highest levels of government. Fourth, Patel knows this. His invoking of the Fifth Amendment is proof of this. If he were innocent, he would speak. If he weren't part of the cover-up, he would have made a statement. But he remains silent because he can't speak. He doesn't even have the right to speak. 5 minutes. That's all it took for Jamie Raskin to expose the entire cover-up. 2,300 pages of documents, 47 protected names, and an order from the FBI director himself. Stop the investigation. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. This is no longer speculation. This is documented, proven fact that's entered into the congressional record. And Patel sat at the table, hid behind the Fifth Amendment, and couldn't say a single word because he had nothing to say. The documents said it all. The truth is coming out slowly, but it's unstoppable. If you want to follow this story, subscribe now and click the bell icon. Tomorrow, Raskin will share the documents with the public. 2,300 pages. Each one will be analyzed here. And share this video. Send it to everyone. This pressure should continue until the 47 names are revealed. And now, if you missed the previous episodes of this scandal, watch the 2 videos you see on the screen. Both are critical to understanding today's explosion. Click now.